Hi, welcome to my video. This is the second time I've recorded this because I don't really know how to do one of these videos. It's one of these videos where there's a man talking to a camera and he's saying his own thoughts, hopefully, and that's it. It's just one of those videos, and um, the last video I recorded, I didn't really know what I was saying. I was just kind of rambling. I knew what I was saying, but I was rambling. There was no structure. So I wrote down some notes. Bear with me. There This is my first time doing one of these videos. So it might be I'm not very used to it. Um so basically this this video is to talk a little bit about creativity. And I think the world that we live in right now, we need to have more discussions about what it means to be an artist and what is your role. What is my role, at least? You can make your own decision on what your role is as an artist, but what I think my role is, well, I'll get to it. Okay. So, it is a Western idea that we own things, right? This water bottle, I own it. It's mine, right? And yeah, like I own it. I I'm still struggling with this idea, but I'm trying to introduce it introduce it a little bit to myself. And what does it mean that the idea that we have ownership over objects, over land, what does that mean? Like, I own this pencil, mechanical pencil, right? I bought it with my money, but I don't know. I don't know. What am I trying to say? Like, I don't really own this. I'm borrowing it for the period of my whenever, and when I'm done with it, I'm going to probably throw it in the trash or recycle it. I don't know how you dispose of this. But then it's not mine anymore. But it's made up of material, made up of plastic, which was probably developed in a lab, and it has some metal components. It has graphite. It has this rubber that was probably made in a lab also, to be honest. Um, but it's made up of material that is not mine, and it is never going to be mine. I am using it. I'm borrowing its matter, but at some point it will return back to the universe. Its matter, its atoms, its form right now will change and it will go elsewhere, right? It is not mine. I do not own this. I'm just borrowing it, right? It serves a purpose and I'm using it for that purpose, and when I no longer have purpose for it, it will go back to where it came from. Probably not exactly, but I don't know. Pollution, I guess. Right? So, what does that mean for creative ideas? I think for myself, it's important to think of creative ideas as not my own. And I read this book that he stated this in his book. Rick Rubin. Any of you have ever seen this book? It's got a big circle on it for some reason, but it's called The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin is a creative he's a creative director, I believe. Let's see if there's a little bit about him in the back. There's not anything about him, but you can look him up. He's worked with many musical artists, and his whole thing, I think he's just like a creative advisor sort of thing. He's never I've seen a quote from him talking about how he's never touched a musical production thing. Like, he doesn't know anything about music production. He's probably picked up an instrument. I'd imagine he's taught himself how to play, or like he's been taught, but he's never actually produced anything. He's just kind of a creative. Guess he just thinks about creativity, and then he advises artists about creativity, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that guy makes money or how he even got like started, but he's a big man. He's a big name. I don't know much about him. But we do not have ownership over our creative ideas. Rick, in his book, he says that when a creative idea comes to you, it is your responsibility to make it happen. And if it doesn't, you'll still have the idea, but it will find a new person to make it happen, to make it a reality. And like, that's why when you have an idea and you like think about making it, and then you see another person do the thing that you were just thinking of, maybe in a different way, but to its core it's still the same idea. You just never took action. You just never did it. So it found someone else. So it would be created, right? And there might be a whole different multitude of reasons of why you didn't do this idea. And whatever that might be is, well, I don't know. It's you, not you. But yeah, you just didn't do it. Maybe one of the reasons why you didn't do it is because you didn't think you could. And oftentimes, people say like, "Oh, I'm not an artist. I can't do that." You could. You could do it. No one is born to be a world-renowned musician or world-renowned illustrator, an artist, or anything. Like, no one was born that way. We're all born the same, and we're all born with one birthright. We have other birthrights, but our one core birthright is creativity. Look around my room, right? I got my bed. I got some bags and my coat, which looks brown. It's actually green, but it actually looks pretty brown in here. But you got my shirt, right? What was I calling with this? It has been created by human. That's my dog. No one made my dog. My dog got born just like the rest of us, But they're all made by a human being who went through time and effort to craft the skills needed to make these pieces of artwork around me. That blue bag, that looks black, but that blue bag is a piece of artwork. Someone had to design that, and now it exists in my room that I take all sorts of places. I think it's only been, I think the farthest has been one state over, but it's been a while. It's been a bit. It's been far, not so far, but pretty far. Wherever it got to created that was. But anyways, it is your birthright. It is your birthright, and when you are a child, you know this. You know it's your birthright. That is when you are so unapologetically yourself. You have no worries because you shouldn't need any worries. You don't know about the world. You don't know. You have no insecurities. You have no fear, right? You have no fear that someone will judge you for creating something wacky. But they will. And you learn that, maybe I need to tone it back, right? Maybe I need to become just like a normal. I just need to be an NPC, you know? Fuck being unique. Some people are very brave and they just do be unique, but your inner child is where creativity comes from. Because that's when you are so unapologetically yourself. When you grow up, you learn about judgment. People who are older than you, way older than you, will see you being so free, and it'll scare them. And you gotta be, and they will be like, yo, tone it back, bro. You're being too free right now. Tone it back. Or maybe they won't say that. That'll just be the vibe. You just pick up a weird vibe and they're like, yo. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm weird. You know? So, anyways. And maybe you don't relate to this, but you are never, as an adult or as a teenager or however old you are not the same person you were as a child. And like, no shit. Like that's gonna happen. But in order to be a creative, you need to be in touch with your inner self, which is your inner child. You need to be creative. You need to be curious. You need to be always asking questions, right? Your inner child is how those creative ideas come into reality, right? Right. So we're gonna watch a little bit of a music video. It's also a very beautiful video from of about this song. Actually, we're just gonna watch it. Don't need to see me. We're just gonna watch it, and it's a very beautiful song. It's called Satellite Business by Sampha and Lil Sims. Um, it's just a very good song. So, pretty cool song, right? It's a pretty cool song. So, so. Why do I bring this up? This song. You could probably, while you're listening, you're like, ah, I see where he's going with this. I see it. I see it. So, this song is about Sampa's newborn child, and he's like a new dad. And when he's talking about through the eyes of my child, he's talking about his new child, right? Very beautiful song. Is about his kid and everything. It's super good song. But when I was first listening to this is the way I interpreted it as without knowing that. And I think this was this is about this is about I think where creative ideas come from. Kind of what Rick Rubin was saying, but more illustrated and just like visualizing it for me, it makes sense, right? So, through the eyes of my child, I can see an inner vision. Through the eyes of my child, I can see you in my vision, right? I can see an inner vision. Inner vision, a creative idea, right? It's an idea. You see it. You see this inner vision. You see something that does not yet exist, and you see it, and you have the skills to bring it into fruition, right? Through the eyes of my child, I can see and envision my child, my inner child, right? Communication with the energy for forgiveness, communication with the energy disappearing, communication with a memory reappearing, with the energy for forgiveness. I think for you to be able to communicate with your inner child, you have to forgive yourself for breaking that bridge. That bridge. Maybe just bridges, right? Communication with the energy for forgiveness. Communication with the energy, with creativity, with just like the energy of your life, just like you. Communication with the energy disappearing. I don't know. This doesn't forget about that line. I don't know what to do with that. I'm not a genius. I'm still learning here. Communication with a memory reappearing. Maybe you're seeing a new part of your childhood. I don't know. I don't know. But the main part that I want to get into here is this part, right? Thinking maybe there's no ends, maybe just infinity. Maybe no beginning, maybe just bridges. Right? Just infinity. That infinity is where I think the creative ideas come from. Whatever that might be, wherever that comes from, it's it's almost spiritual, I think. I think creativity is so closely linked with spirituality and just it's something that's more it's it feels more out of this world. It's not I'm not particularly like spiritual or religious, but sometimes it's just I do think I do th- mm, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what I think about religion and like especially create spirituality because spirituality can be even now the idea that you can be spiritual but not religious, but there's just so much interlap and there's a lot of interlap with creativity, especially like really really talented and skilled artists have they're just so there's just somewhat they're also religious in some way, especially this song, "Pray to the Jah Allah," right? how can I be stopped when I move with God? Like, God is there. And for I don't think I necessarily believe in a God in the sense of like Christianity, but God just meaning love and just meaning the universe, just like God is everything. And I think for creativity, you need to believe that kind of. And in some sense, I guess I do believe in a God, in God, more of just like more of just the collective universe, not necessarily something sentient, but yeah. But my point is that like you need to be so connected with these things. You need to create bridges with yourself. You need to create bridges with your child, with your inner child, with my inner child, to see an inner vision, to really create impactful and meaningful art. I think you need to be so in touch with yourself and to be looking inwards and to be looking into some sort of soul, like to look into your soul. And like that's what you need as an artist, right? And these ideas are not yours. They're not your ideas. They're someone else's ideas. Not someone else's, but they're the universe's, and it's your job to create to create this thing, to create this idea. And your life, when it becomes more from you, is that you are looking within and this idea comes to you from within, and you have to pull it out of you. And as it is being pulled out of you through that process of creativity, it is being filtered. It's filtering through your life. It's filtering through your ideas, your values. It's filtering through your brain chemistry, like just like how your brain is wired and how you see the world. When it's sifted through that, you have something that is uniquely yours. And I think it's different than ownership, because as soon as it leaves you and you share it with the world, it's also no longer yours. Like, you are sharing it, and each time someone sees it and perceives it, they will perceive it in a different way than you perceived it, than the original meaning you wanted it to be made for. It changes, and it's it's beautiful. And you are giving a piece of yourself, a piece of that inner child, and you're placing it within that artwork, and you're sharing it with the world again, just where it's always meant to be. It goes to you, and it is your duty to create it and share it back with the world, right? And it's I don't really like I don't agree with religion. I think it's a slippery slope to being used to control people rather than to help people. But in a lot of ways, the role of an artist is kind of divine work, I guess. I don't know. It's conflicting. It's conflicting for me even. Let me bring this back up. I found it was easier to talk about that without looking at myself because I just have OBS open right now. But I guess I still don't have to look at myself. But I don't. Um, it's just like kind of I don't know. It's conflicting for me to call it divine, but also be against the idea of things being divine. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But the one last thing I want to tie this to is that we are all facing a universal threat. Not universal threat, but a world threat of our own creation. It's truly the ultimate technology we've ever made, and we have no idea how it works. Like, we know how it works, but we don't know how it thinks. You haven't figured it out yet. Talking about AI, right? Artificial intelligence, or AGI, artificial general intelligence. It's I'm trying to I'm trying to inform myself more about AI because it's such an issue. It is a catastrophic issue. Like, we have gotten ourselves into a real fucking mess. That's what we've been up to, right? Not even us, like just a group of 5 billionaires, right? But the point is that I'm trying to say is generative AI, especially in the arts field, while it is threatening jobs right now, at least, or there's worry about it threatening future jobs. Out of the whole AI problem, it's the least of our worries. The least. The least of it. Because AI is not capable of creating pieces of art and craftsmanship like people are. It's not it has one critical thing. It's lacking one critical thing, and it's a soul. It's a soul which you and I both have. We all have a soul. We all have lived a life. We've all thought terrible things. We've thought great things. We've seen bad things. We've seen good things, which is all has. But it can't it can't create art because art is uniquely ours. And it might get really damn good at it, but it will always be missing something. And I don't think it's an issue in the creative fields if that's a poor take. Sorry, bro. It's not an issue to me. AI can never replace me because it is not alive. It cannot live my life. My brain is uniquely mine. No one knows what goes on up in here, right? Ivy, my dog, right there. She got no idea. I don't know what's going on in her brain, right? No one knows anything's happening in anyone's brain, but it is uniquely ours. AI is not a threat. Threat to me. Generative AI is not a threat to me. But the other versions of AI, maybe that's an issue. I don't know. That's a different issue. Anyways, if this video made any sort of sense to anyone, that's great. I'm probably just gonna not edit this. I think I probably like said I'm gonna cut something, but then I'm just not gonna cut anything. But I don't know. This video make any sense to anyone? Listen to Sampa. Listen to Sampa. Listen to Satellite Business. Another song that I think pairs really well with a song is Free by Little Sims. It's talking about freedom and how to have freedom, basically. And it's through love. Love is the one thing we all need, to be honest. Probably solve this big AI issue at some point. But, enjoy this 34-minute video.